Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 423. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Yo, man, we are in a state of play.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Adam Vale.
People have spoken. Third person mode is back. Take it, bitch. Take it.
Brett Murdoch.
I love how they roll back those decisions as soon as it starts hurting their bottom line, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, Mr. Brian Manjoma.
We already have a template that works. It's called Guardians of the Galaxy. Just do that again. It's not that hard, people.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Jesus.
How are they supposed to make it their own, Brian?
My head hurts and the fucking show hasn't even started yet. This is ridiculous. We're gonna get into it anyway.
Do we have to replace you with an AI?
Mate, I'm dead apparently.
Right.
You know,
how do I know that hasn't already happened? Actually, that's a good point. What if you died a few years ago and we're just talking to a ghost AI token?
Yeah,
This is true. Yeah, if it
Well,
wasn't, man needs to actually see me physically.
Oh, man.
It's a deep fake.
No, but wait a minute. Wait.
Unless they installed some new cool ass holograms in his.
This is it. This is it. Wait, this is perfect. This is perfect, Brett. You're right. What if he finds out? This could be a great story. So Tony finds out through this AI that he died, and then we find out that we all at some point had some near-death experience, but really we did die.
Uh-oh.
And this is the alternate life.
This sounds like Lost.
Dude, I've actually been there.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that they were just all dead? That was the whole thing. They were just all dead, and their souls were stuck on that island.
Dude,
that was
a few years ago, ironically, about a month or so before I lost Rachel, we got into a horrific car accident. And I remember all I could do was like turn the wheel to my right, like it was a truck coming from my left. It was a Ford 350. And like I cut the wheel to the right, and it just caved in that side of my car.
Oh my.
And like I was looking at the damage a little bit later, and I just it hit me. I was like, "Holy shit! If this had been like 6 inches to the right, I'd be dead right now."
Brett, you didn't make it. So I got hit by a van. I got hit by a van. Oh, I mean, to Carlos, anything tragic ever happened that you think you walked away from, but you really didn't?
Been a couple of shootouts. Fell on a. Remember back in the day where I'll tell this quick story. Remember back in the day when there was. The New Yorkers probably won't get this, but which is probably most of them. And Brian's from London, so Brett might understand me. We didn't have sewage. We had holes in the ground. They got sucked up by trucks.
What?
Holes? You got to explain this,
right? What the?
Yeah. So
a lot of houses have that.
What, like a latrine?
Yeah. I don't know how it's called.
Nah, man, a septic tank.
It's a septic tank. Yeah.
Okay,
septic tank. Okay, that's how they. All right.
Yeah, so every house, near where I grew up, everyone had one of these because we didn't have a proper sewage system. We do now, and so we, all the sewage went to a hole in the ground. So I went to a buddy's house once, and these holes are deep. I was just walking around, and I couldn't tell like where I was walking, and I fell. I didn't fall in the sewage. There was like a small space where there was like a what's it called like a 2x4 just like sticking somewhere right before I fell, but I was like almost fell into the thing, and the only way they can pull me up was the couple of people just went running because I yelled, and they pulled me back up. And I was a little kid. I was like maybe like 8 or 9 years old. If I fell,
it's gonna be like the episode of The Simpsons when Bart fell down the well is going to be like that. We're sending our love down the well, all the way down.
That was based on that was actually based off of a real news event that happened around that time where this little girl fell down.
Yeah, little girl.
Yeah, the whole baby Jessica thing. Yeah,
yeah, that's what it was based on.
I was going to say Carlos became a G.I. Joe PSA.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right.
Save the kid before they fall in the hole.
Yeah, right.
Tragic.
Don't fall in holes, kids. G.I. Joe. All right, man. Let's get into it. We got some gaming to talk about. The big thing that happened this week was the PlayStation State of Play, which actually happened today. So as we usually do on Throwdown, we're going to go through these one by one. I'm getting these straight off of PlayStation, so if anything's missing, blame them. I'm getting this right off their blog. All right, what's the first thing we have here? Destiny 2 Lightfall.
Yeah, that's the DLC. That's the DLC for Destiny.
Oh no,
expansion thing, whatever.
Yeah. My question is, and I guess I'm going to ask this a lot tonight. Who cares?
Obviously somebody cares because they keep making them.
Yeah,
it's got a huge community, so they care.
Yeah, Brett, did you say you care? You still playing Destiny? Brett,
did you guys notice that this month one of the PS Plus things that they gave us is a Destiny DLC? No. Not the game, the fucking DLC.
Yeah, that's some tightening their belt, because they want people to go over to the newer versions of the.
That's them owning the fucking company and doing the exact same thing they're worried about Call of Duty doing.
Suck a bitch.
I would say, I was watching that trailer and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here now?" Like, there's some crazy looking smoke-headed dude. None
of us care. This isn't for us, but still, it just bothers me because I was like, motherfucker. Like, every time, I'm gonna go off a rant. I don't give a shit. People can call me an Xbox fanboy at this point. I'm just mad at Sony's fucking actions. They're just a douchebag in everything that they do. They find the way that they can fuck the customer the most, and then do that. I'm convinced that they have focus groups to figure it out. Like, they go out of their way to fuck you. I'm supposed to be getting 2 free games a month. Granted, I never fucking play them because they're always awful. But I'm still supposed to be getting them, goddammit. Not fucking DLC for the franchise that you just bought. And especially not while you're bitching about, oh no, Microsoft is going to lock us out of Call of Duty. Meanwhile, they're signing 10-year contracts with everybody. And then you fucking turn around and be like, look, we're giving away the DLC for our game for free. That's not preferential behavior. That's not the kind of shit that we're giving examples to courts about Microsoft possibly fucking doing. If Microsoft were a person, I would fucking bitch slap them. Or if Sony were a person, I would fucking bitch slap them.
You know what, Brett? You're the Joe Pesci of our show.
Yeah, saying I'm a clown?
No.
What? Saying he's funny? You saying he's funny?
He made you laugh.
I'm not saying you're a clown. I'm just saying, you're just Joe Pesci of a show.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But yeah, all right, there you go, Destiny.
Adam, are you still playing? Are you getting back to it?
But those shooting controls are real good. They feel really familiar.
I mean, they do. I'm not gonna lie. Credit where credit is due. That shit is tight.
Yeah, but we're over that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have more than tight controls and realistic feeling weapons. The rest of the game is fucking bullshit, borderline exploitative, and that's being nice.
Yeah,
all right. Chosen one.
Yeah, I want to because I got to rant about this fucking Suicide Squad.
Wait, Carlos, what did Carlos say?
Oh no, just real quick, Adam. I know every time I think about Destiny, I think about you because you were the most in love with this game out of all of us.
I mean, Destiny 2.
Destiny 2. Like, is it? Are you done with that game or?
Yeah, I fell off. It was just too grindy. It was getting too grindy for the gear and shit. And it's like I'm doing the missions. It just rinse and repeat. I get the story was all right, but it just I don't know. It didn't keep my interest. So I just walked away. I was like, I'm done.
I mean, the campaign was
on the moon.
Yeah, and I tried to go back recently because a buddy of mine was like, "Yo, let's play," and then it was just so much on the map, tons of content that I didn't even know where to start again. I was like, I don't know, and I was able to port over my profile, my PlayStation profile, so I still have my high level character, but still, it's just a lot to do. I don't know, I just don't have that feeling for it like I did. No hate for it, it just doesn't catch my interest anymore. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we've most of the crew here played it. We played it with each other, played the campaign and all that stuff. We see the potential, but it's just there's hardly any substance, and that's the issue here. So, yeah, DLC, woohoo!
Yeah, if you have to be watching Netflix while you play a game to be entertained, you're lacking something.
But yeah, let's move on, man. Yeah, Suicide Squad. We got to talk about this shit, man.
Oh.
I remember when this game was first announced, I was hyped because of Rocksteady. I'm like, Rocksteady, man, they give us the Arkham games. This is going to be fucking dope. This trailer killed any hype I have for this fucking game. This doesn't look like a Rocksteady game. This looks like fucking like Fortnite. It looks
like Crackdown.
Yeah, correct. I'm like, this is terrible. What the fuck is this shit? You know, like
everybody's using guns. You know,
everybody.
Guns. I thought
everyone's
same thing.
Flying around. I'm like, why?
It?
Yeah, I'm like, why are all the characters the same? Basically, you know, like
Harley Quinn is Spider-Man.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
yeah, and like Brian said, it's like you see what Guardians of the Galaxy did. Do that. Don't do what Avengers did. This is another Avengers. Oh my god!
To be honest, it's like they're definitely trying to go down that line. The whole like multiplayer sort of online game with a loose story. Also the weird part is that why did they switch out well, I know why they switched out Deadshot, but if this is supposed to be the Arkham universe, what happened to the other guy?
Yeah, right.
I think I know what's wrong with this fucking thing, and I was actually thinking about this quite a bit today. This is what happens when you get people who aren't necessarily huge fans of the source material. Like, this is a game, looks like a game. I can't say is right now, but this looks like a game made without love, right? And that really got me thinking today. Like, we always say companies don't care about you; they just want their money, right? And I do agree with that statement. But I'm starting to realize that there's varying degrees of that, right? There's companies that to kind of try and encourage things, like I've seen companies built by gamers for gamers that do great fucking things. Sometimes they fuck up, but they do great fucking things, right? And then I see companies that are clearly just out to make a dollar, and I gotta say, they're not the same. It's not the same thing. This is a game made by committee that is basically just taking advantage of an IP that we all know and love, right? Like, this is not made by people who are just like, fuck yeah, Suicide Squad. You can tell just by looking at it, man.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to agree with that.
This game was in development.
I don't know.
It was made. The game looked like it was just made to tick boxes, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they decided to have two games that are literally multiplayer, online multiplayer games. Like, they're almost literally like this game and the Arkham game. What is it? Not Arkham.
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights are almost exactly the same game, except there's different characters in it.
Well, okay. Like, let me ask you. I'm sorry. Maybe this is a fucking random thing. I'm sitting here watching the trailer, so I'm getting triggered all fucking over again. So we have Suicide Squad, the comic book. We have several animated shows, and we have several movies. And yet this movie decided to make King Shark look like none of them. Not a fucking, like, everybody looks fucking weird. Where did you bring the source material from? Did you just make shit up that you thought was gonna look good?
I mean, King Shark in the comics looks somewhat similar to that.
I mean, he's got a definable head in this game. It's weird looking.
Yeah, they sort of like, it's like an amalgam of things. I mean, it's most definitely an amalgam of the movies. Like, what's her face looks almost exactly like Margot Robbie from the
yeah, but then,
she doesn't actually look like the Arkham version of herself.
No, but then they were like,
Captain Boomerang looks like sort of like comic book Captain Boomerang, but with some different things. But he doesn't use his boomerangs; he uses guns for some reason.
Stupid boomerang! He's using guns. Oh my god!
Yeah, he's also got a Speed Force, like a Speed Force amulet, so he can move fast, and so when he throws his boomerang, he can like literally catch his own boomerang from the other end, so he can throw it to himself. Which I don't remember him having a Speed Force dealie, but I guess they wanted to. The thing is, it's like it seems to be taking the sort of Fortnite like ideas where like they're heroes that they pretty much use guns. Not Fortnite, but Overwatch, where they're characters that use guns, but they all have like side abilities that makes make them somewhat slightly more unique.
It feels like they had to make them into classes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they are. Like, obviously, King Shark is the big guy class, which is a bunch of Fortnite characters have. But ultimately, he still uses a gun. Same thing with Boomerang. He's probably the fast guy, right? He does.
Yeah, he's the mobile class.
He's the mobile class. You have what's his face, who's the sniper, Deadshot, which Deadshot is also different than Deadshot was in the Arkham games, which sort of confuses me. Also, the other confusing thing about this, if this happened after Arkham Knight and Batman's in it, obviously, what is he? What are the? Are you? Is he? Because they suggest that he retired or he's dead, but when you see shots of him, he just looks like Arkham Batman, but with red or with glowy purple eyes.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, at least they included Harley Quinn's much beloved Boomerang in this, or grappling hook. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, it's funny about that. Like, I noticed in the trailer that she has a drone that, because obviously they didn't want to try to figure out how to connect her to buildings and stuff like Spider-Man does. So what they did is they literally just gave her like a MacGuffin drone that she always hooks to.
I mean, do they explain that away? Is that some Batman shit?
Well, no, because that's why if you notice in the Avengers game, they just didn't bother. Spider-Man, he would just swing on the air. So for her, she swings on the air, but there's a drone that's connected to the air so that she's swinging off of something.
It's so lazy, And
why? Okay, why does she have a cricket bat? I mean, I realize that's splitting hairs, but what?
She should have that mallet. What happened to her mallet?
She's had a mallet and a baseball bat. Now they're what? Cricket bat. We're gonna give this bitch a paddle.
I don't know. It seems weird. I think their only reason why they're saying it's connected to the Arkham universe is because of the whole because it's marketing.
Yeah.
Even though there's not the only things that really connect, like you see Penguin in there, but he looks slightly different than what he looked like in the Arkham games. They've added Toyman and a bunch of other characters that hadn't shown up, and they're in Metropolis now. I don't know. It just seems like another side. It just seems like, hey, it's bad guy version of Gotham Knights.
I feel like they're doubling down. Like, go ahead, sure, just piss on my childhood, but go ahead, piss on my adolescence now too. Just saying it's Batman, but it's an Arkham Batman. Like, cool, you got a twofer.
I don't think it's really pissing on your childhood or anything. I think it's just them trying to attach themselves to current trends because, Fortnite and Overwatch and all those games are all the bee's knees, right? Microtransactions for kids. It's all that sort of stuff. That's what they're really trying to do.
Is there a story in this game, or
there's a story?
Yeah, Brainiac apparently took over the hero's brains or whatever, and
the whole
Suicide Squad have to stop him. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the idea is that they have to kill the Justice League somehow. So, we'll see.
They won't, by the way.
They're not going to kill any of them.
This game was in development for so damn long. Remember, for a long time, we thought it was a Ninja Turtle game. Right? There was talks that maybe they were working on a Ninja Turtle project. I probably would have preferred that in this gameplay style than these dudes.
They would have given the Ninja Turtles guns.
Yeah, they would have. This is stupid. That's why it reminds me of Fortnite, where everybody's just running around with guns.
Everybody's running around with guns and just blasting the hell out of
things. What a lazy fucking game, man.
Why Rocksteady?
I mean, it's not. It has nothing to do with Rocksteady. I think it's just Warner Brothers saying, we need to leverage these. We need to continuously make money. These games are expensive. We need to continuously keep on making money, like the other guys are doing, like and just putting it out that way. I think that's what it is. I think they're just looking to catch that wave that everybody tries to catch but never really catches.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hate to be grim on this thing, but it just seems like we're going down another Avengers route. The only difference is that maybe the controls look like they're a little bit more responsive than those Avengers game. But
yeah, it's a shame, man.
I'm not interested. I wasn't interested when they first announced it, and I'm still equally as uninterested about it now. So
I think the big disappointment is just how far Rocksteady seems to have fallen. You know,
I don't know if it's specifically that they've fallen. It's just
they remember that Arkham Knight. Remember that had all kinds of problems, and then had them shooting with the car and shit.
Well, Gotham Knight was made by WB Montreal.
Yeah,
that wasn't Rocksteady that did that.
That wasn't Rocksteady at all.
So when was the last game they did? Arkham City.
Arkham City, right?
Arkham City.
Yeah.
Arkham Knight. That was it.
Arkham Knight. Yeah.
Arkham Knight. Yeah. The Origins one was the bad one. You know.
And that was also WB Montreal.
That's what I'm saying. The Arkham Knight, that had a lot of problems. That Steam pulled it for a whole year. Remember?
Well, the
PC version. Yeah, the console version.
The console version, but in general, that was in the dark ages when they weren't even.
By the way, Manny, the founders of Rocksteady left last year, so there you go.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I'm sure
the founders of everything have been leaving these days.
To be honest, I feel like a lot of times, when these games get so extravagant, and when the more money starts going in there, and that's when the big guys, just like in Hollywood, that's when the big guys start coming in and start telling you what you should be doing on your game, as opposed to letting you do the thing that you should be. And again, they keep mentioning throughout this. They literally mentioned it every second that this was connected to the Arkham games.
I mean,
it reminds me how Morbius shoved in your face that was connected to the Spider-Verse.
Well, it's got what's his name doing the voice of Batman. That's the only real connection I can see.
The Kevin Conroy thing, and I feel like to be honest, I think I don't think that was always in the plan. I think this game was supposed to be on its own, but maybe there was so much issues. I don't want to say. Because some developer that I worked with working on it, and they're known for having good netcode. I have a feeling that Rocksteady could not pull it off, and they had to call somebody who was actually experienced with this to work with it. But again, this is just hearsay. But I definitely think that's part of it.
I think you got it right, kind of before. I mean, I think that you're giving them a little bit too much credit. To be honest, I think it was just some suit somewhere went. So you had a series of successful games, right? Is this connected to that? And they're like, no. And they're like, well, can it be though?
Yeah.
I feel like there's just so many variables that can be contribute to this. I mean, Arkham Asylum came out in 2008, 2009, and that's probably their best game. And these companies, we talked about Rockstar the other couple of months ago, and just on our expectations of GTA 6, and it's hard for a lot of these companies, most of these companies, it's hard to maintain just a level of consistency, because you have people that leave, you have you have big corporations taking control. It's just interesting how Rocksteady, transform the genre of Batman into a video game form, as good as anyone has, and they just stayed the Batman company, and that they're just pigeonholed in. They even did a VR Arkham game.
Yeah, it's essentially the same thing that happened to Bungie happened to them. They became the Batman making company, which they could. I'm sure maybe that's one of the reasons why those founders left, is because they're just like, yeah, we finished Batman. We're done with Batman. We did the last Batman game. Why are we doing this again? Oh, well, because somebody else wants it.
I mean, these companies have such a high turnover. Just sit back and do the math, right? Your average person is going to spend between probably 25 and 35 years in an industry over their adult career. That's if they have one career, right? And that's becoming more and more rare these days, right? So a lot of these people, how many of these people spend that long at one company? How many of these people who found their own company had it last that long? I mean, we can count the number on one hand of the old school game companies that are still around, and none of them are what they used to be. And Obsidian isn't what it used to be. Rare isn't what it used to be. A lot of this stuff because they've had these people turn over. And I think that as a community, we probably need to really start focusing more on names of creators and people that we're fans of and kind of following them and not really get sucked into this whole, oh, well, this company made this. Well, this company is a fucking mask, and the person that was wearing it when they, when it was good, no longer fucking here. That's not Mickey Mouse. That's some guy in a suit.
Yeah, but we should also be wary of that too, because if we just follow the creators, we'll be in a Glenn Schofield situation. We saw how that turned out.
That's true.
Well, I mean,
there's always
maybe it's also the idea that it's also maybe more than one person too.
That's
I wish we would get. I mean, I know that people's names are in the credit, but I wish we were like, didn't throw all the credit on just the one guy heading the team.
Imagine if they had some kind of video game award show where they actually acknowledge the developers. Oh wait, they do. It's DICE, but we don't really talk about that.
That's not in the interest of the game companies, Tony. Quit talking crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because there were other trailers.
That's because there's no commercials. There's no trailers or world premieres at the DICE Awards.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys want to say about the Suicide Squads?
Do you know what the absolute worst part of the whole game is?
What?
And this is going to kill most people. Listen to this.
This is
Kevin's. No, this is Kevin's last role.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And this bad.
Oh man, that's upsetting. I've thought about that a lot today. Oh man. All right, let's move on. What else did they have here?
Hey man, it might be.
He didn't know. He just did it.
Well, let's look at it like this. It might be a shitty game, but I'm pretty sure his fucking voice acting is going to be spot on.
Of course,
and we'll remember it.
He's scary Batman. We know that.
Yeah. All right.
Dude, if you would have told me at 10, I would be so angry at all the superhero video games and movies. I would have been like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, we got what we wanted, and now it's turned into a nightmare.
The monkey paw situation.
That's the cycle, right? It becomes big and famous. It becomes big budget, and then they think they could, hang out on the top, right? They could just put any piece of garbage out there and have everybody eat it all up, and that's when they know it's all gonna fall out. So, we'll see.
All right. Next up, what do we have here? Chia. Is that the name of this fucking game?
Chia. Which one was that one?
It's Chia. Yeah, it's like some girl in a forest.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's coming to PlayStation. Whatever, one of the higher tiers of PlayStation. It's I love the way during when they introduce it, they're like most anticipated game.
Never heard of this shit.
I'm like,
anticipated internally.
When?
Jimmy and Tito, both of them are super hyped, and they were like, "Yo,
no, I can't say that this game was ever hyping. I mean, it's it's an interesting looking game, but to be honest, also the trailer didn't do anything to sell me on any of it. I was like, what's going on here? I just sort of just started looking another direction. This is.
All right, we can skip this one. I don't know what the fuck this game's about.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Humanity, which is like a dog puzzle game.
You know what it's like, Chris? You remember The Last Guy?
Yeah.
You remember The Last Guy was just like you're this one character, and then you were literally collecting people, and then leading them to a safe zone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But this time it looks like it's a dog.
It's a dog doing that. It's called Humanity?
Yeah, it's called Humanity. It just has crowds and crowds of people all over, and they literally follow this dog. You have like a snake of people that, like you're walking through different environments. It's exactly like The Last Guy.
Oh.
But with a dog.
With a dog. Highly anticipated.
Well, they didn't say this was highly anticipated.
Yeah, no, they didn't. By the way, Sir Rich a lot in the chat. He's like, I heard Carlos was very impressed by that state of play event today. We love you, Rich.
I was shout out to the Throwdown Discord. I was doing a little bit of back and forth with them, and over the last few days, and they're just like, prepare to be whelmed.
Prepare to be whelmed.
Whelmed.
Yeah. No, you're right about that.
Oh, but by the way, side note, of course, as every single one of these shows comes along, what happens? All the rumors about Metal Gear Remake and all this other stuff, that shows up. I'm just like, oh, come on. Really?
Every time, man.
Every time. Anyway.
All right. Okay, things picked up here. Resident Evil 4.
Yep.
It doesn't look anything like the. I'm looking at these things like, yo, when the fuck did that happen? Like, this is like all new stuff, basically. You know?
Yeah, I think that's what they're. Well, not all new stuff. Like they did have that. You know, they have the fight with what's his face, Krauser.
Yeah, Krauser was new. That was old, or that did happen. The fight with the two Gigantes was like new. One of them was fucking armored up, though. I'm like, I don't remember that shit. You know?
Didn't you fight two Gigantes?
You do, but I don't remember one of them being all armored up like that.
Yeah. Also, Lewis was there.
Lewis was there.
So that's interesting. He was supposed. He died in the original game way earlier.
But like
that part was on the island.
Yeah, but like Ashley, she's like more prominent now. Like
the mine car thing, was that a thing?
I don't know. That was in there too. Yeah,
that was in there. Yeah,
but it's like different, you know.
Yeah, it looks like it looks even more like Temple of Doom now.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks actually pretty cool. You know, Ada showed up.
Leon look blonde sometimes in there though?
I don't know.
Like, he looks like he's blonde.
He looks blonde in this thumbnail too.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, but yeah, cool stuff.
Then they sour the bread as soon as that trailer goes.
Oh, Mercenaries. Yeah, man, whatever.
The old Mercenaries, they're bringing it back.
No, the new Mercenaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not connected to Mercenaries 1, 2, 3.
I don't know.
No, it's just called Mercenaries.
Yeah.
It's the same old Mercenaries that you get when like it's multiplayer, but in the environments of Resident Evil 4. That's what.
It's a mode. You're still talking Resident Evil. I thought they announced a new Mercenary.
No, it's about Resident Evil.
No, I thought you moved on. We already seen that shit. That came out fucking 10 years ago or something like that.
Mercenary mode.
Yeah, Mercenary
mode. Remake.
Yeah.
It's just a remake. All right. I thought they actually did a new remake.
There you go. Yeah. I wonder if
Adam, just do yourself a favor and don't get excited.
I
wonder if they're gonna put that Ada Wong, Assignment Ada stuff in there too.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And it looks like you play as Ashley at one point. Just interesting.
Well, you did in the old game too.
You did in the old one.
I don't remember that for some reason.
In the castle.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Did
they change Leon's voice actor?
Probably.
It's
the guy from the 2 remake.
The new 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no wonder he sounds a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. That bill looks good. Yeah.
Ashley is not played by was it not Heather Haley? What's her name? Fem Shep. She was played by
Jennifer Hale. I didn't know that. That's cool. Then Jennifer Hale is everybody, you know.
Well, Jennifer Hale
is Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob? She does that voice.
She's Sandy?
I don't know.
It's Sandy.
That's who the original Ashley was. It's Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob.
It might be Jennifer Hale, yeah. As I remember, Jennifer Hale was the escort character in 2 games at the same time, which was Metal Gear Solid 2 and Resident Evil 4.
Sandy Cheeks.
That does not sound right, by the way.
That's her name in the freaking show.
Sure it is, Chris.
Okay.
What are you gonna say? She lives in Bikini Bottom.
Carolyn Lawrence is the voice of the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Sandy Cheeks. Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna keep saying.
Yeah, Sandy Cheeks. There it is. Yeah.
There you go. All right. That's why I don't go to the beach.
You know, you don't want those Sandy Cheeks, you know? Oh, man. All right. What do we also we have here? Manny's favorite game, Street Fighter 6.
Oh, what an ugly looking fucking game.
Don't say that.
Game.
What?
Ugly game. That's weird hyper real. They look like fucking not Croft. What was that? You remember the Phil Collins?
No, you're right. You're right. That's Croft puppets. Yeah.
They look like the fucking Croft.
Ugly ass Croft puppets.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
It was a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, man.
Let me see.
Illusion.
Somebody link Adam to this shit.
I'm watching. I got the UB tubes.
Yeah,
They got They got the new girl. They're. I every time I see these trailers, I'm like, is it Street Fighter 4 out already?
Street Fighter's been out.
Just, oh yeah, that's been out.
Street Fighter 4 came out in 2008, man.
Excuse me, Street Fighter 6. I mean, this game is out already.
No, it's not.
No. You know what it is because they had that thing where they literally somebody leaked all the characters and they're like, all right, we're just waiting for these characters. Why is anybody surprised? We already know who's coming.
Because they have to announce them 3 at a time, Manny.
We knew Cammy was coming. We knew Zangief was coming. We knew Lily was coming with her voice. I think she's being played by the girl who plays Harley Quinn now. What's her face? The new.
But did you know Ryu's coming back?
Well, he's got a beard now. Whoa! And he doesn't look Japanese. Like, it's weird. Like, they're trying to go for this hyper realistic look, but still to this date, Ryu does not look fucking Japanese at all.
Yeah,
he's the whitest Japanese guy I've ever seen.
He's like the guy from Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang.
No, Liu Kang used to look Asian. I don't know what he looks like now, but back in the day,
in the new Mortal Kombat.
You mean the movie?
Yeah, the new movie.
Yeah.
That masterpiece.
That masterpiece.
By the way, this game, Street Fighter 6, I think there's such thing as too stylized when it comes to fighting games. When you're playing a fighting game,
they just really stick out from the environment.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to focus on your combos, on the fighting aspect, but it's like look at these shiny graphics.
They're like too shiny. They look like shiny CG people, but they're all weirdly exaggerated. Mm-hmm. And that main guy, the blonde hair dude that they keep putting on the thing, my God, that fucking dude scares me. His fucking smile is just spooky. I'm like, I don't want to play that. Why? I'll take those other weird versions that they made. Those other weird 3D looking versions. At least they at least looked like something. They just keep getting worse.
I don't know. How
anyway,
I feel about that.
I think I'm gonna get it.
You gonna get it? You'll be like Street Fighter. You want to play Lily
with
her Hispanic accent? They didn't give her like. They didn't give her like a vanilla like person, a vanilla like white person voice.
Is she the one?
Is that the Selena Vega? Did they? Let me see that.
No, that's not Selena Vega. That's.
I want to see what they did with. She's in the game. She's doing shit. So I just want to find out if they made her a character.
Yeah, no, I think the voice, at least the voice to me, sounds like Tara Strong.
Lily, right?
Yeah, that sounds like Tara Strong to me.
She looks. She does like she's supposed to be a Native American type girl.
She's supposed to be like native, like from Mexico type.
She looks. Deal. I don't know.
All I know is she's got a heavy hit. She's got a Hispanic accent. She's like, look at me, I'm here. Hello. My name is Lily. They didn't want to give me a real Hispanic name. They call me Lily.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's a commentator, and I'm listening to her call it. I don't know how I feel about this.
No, Selena Vega is they have that weird commentary mode, and
that's it. That's why I listen to her.
She's not an actual character. No. She's just like commentary.
I thought they showed her fighting. She was fighting Blanca in the.
She has. I think she has a character.
That's Lily.
Oh,
but Selena Vega is like they have this weird commentary mode that you can play.
Who's gonna want to play that?
Mighty Nerd says, wait for Ultra Street Fighter 6 in 2 years.
He's right. That's the pattern.
Imagine if this game doesn't come with
and then we'll get the Champions Edition, and we'll get the Omega Super Fat Edition, and then we'll get the Bushwick Edition. They make so many different editions that next year you own like 5 or 6 versions of the same fucking game.
Yeah, I'm done.
I mean,
I'm done with this shit. I'm not dealing.
No,
with
you can't say it. You can't say it.
Yes, I can. I'm fucking done. I'm done with this shit.
No, come on, man. You only live once. You gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta
I checked out. I bought the first version of Street Fighter V. I was like, I'm done with this shit. I'm done. Not only am I done with this game, I'm done with fighting games in general. Like it's disgusting what they're doing now. Like these games are just catered to the FTC, and you got to like constantly be on there with this fucking season passes. Fuck that shit.
Yo, Bing was right. You did die. You know this.
What do you mean? Have you not been listening? Have you not been listening to Throwdown?
I know. This is a different Tony.
Adam, you haven't been paying attention. Like, remember when this game was first revealed? The first thing I said was, "I'm done with this fucking franchise." That's the first thing I said. This is stupid, you know.
Man, I didn't like what they did with that Infinite one. That would look pretty bad.
That was terrible.
Played out.
No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
I'm with you, Tony. I pre-ordered Street Fighter V, and it was a pile of garbage when it came out. The only reason why I'm considering buying 6 is because some of my friends are huge Street Fighter fans, and this is probably the game that they're going to want to play. So
yeah, I'm done.
But I'm with you, man.
I don't have the fucking time or energy to learn all these fucking moves, get my ass creamed online by these fucking cheaters. I'm not dealing with this shit, you know.
All I'm going to say is that us fans of blonde female assassins in fighting games are eating well.
Yes.
This year.
You know.
Yeah.
She looks like a.
You talking about Leon?
Version of Cammy looks like a King of Fighters character. They turned her into a King of Fighters character. I'm like, oh, here we go.
I feel like the intros for when they fight reminded me of Injustice. Like they copied that whole like, all right, walking in.
Oh yeah, the whole cinematic deal. Yeah. Cinematic.
Yeah. All right. Moving on here.
Street Fighter.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
Yeah. Yep. It's a thing. All right. We got Baldur's Gate 3, which I thought came out like 3 years ago, but apparently it's just coming out. You know?
Maybe the console, but it was on PC for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, it was early access.
Oh,
early access.
That's what it was.
How do you put a game like that on early access? What are they, an indie company that's doing them now?
I don't know. They
did it to kind of gauge fan reactions. Like they wanted the community to kind of develop it alongside them, and I mean it's Larian Studios. They know what the fuck they're doing, and they do great games. So I don't really honestly like. That's the one company I'm like, I don't see a problem with that, because when they say like, yeah, we want to hear community feedback through our development process, they actually mean it. My only
gripe with it, I feel like everything seems a bit overly designed. Like everybody looks like they're wearing like bug armor. That's my only deal with that. But you know, again, it's not my Baldur's Gate in general was not my deal. It wasn't my jam.
I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying because I went to a preview event for this game, ironically enough, in 2020 before the world fucking went to shit, and I thought I was pretty hyped about it, but it's been so long I've lost interest. But now seeing this trailer, I'm like, oh, August? Okay, let me give this a shot, because I like the setup of this game, and I liked all like the insane amount of choices you get. That's pretty cool to me, you know. So yeah,
Divinity is amazing.
So yeah, it's made by those same guys. So this seems like a more polished version of that. And I'm gonna guess this, but they've been pre-developing this for 3 years. It's got to be good by the time August comes around.
Don't ever assume that. We've learned that. We learned that. It doesn't matter how long it's in development, it could still come out.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But it is what it is. If they manage to pull it off, good for them. I did actually get to see a little bit of this at PAX. Is what it is.
Good stuff. All right. Next up, we got Wayfinder.
Hold on, wait.
Oh, what's up, Brad? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we move on, I got something. Like, I am angry about this game.
Uh-oh.
Like, if we're done talking actually about the game itself, this isn't a PlayStation exclusive. It's not. This is Larian Studios. They're not owned by anybody. So this is one of those PlayStation exclusive at launch, bought and paid for kind of things. This is paid exclusivity, and I just got to say, it's bullshit.
Which one was this one?
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they Larian Studios did not develop this for Sony. I know for a fact because I've been following the development, and they're definitely not owned by Sony. And their page says that it's a launch exclusive, which implies that it's definitely going to be on Xbox eventually. So
yeah. Xbox has done it too, though. Just to be fair, they've done it too.
No, I'm just saying I despise this practice in general. I don't give a fuck who's doing it. It's a bullshit practice.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I agree. I think they got to get they got to get something out there because it obviously seems that Sony doesn't have anything in development anyway. Oh, not in, they have. It's not that they don't have anything in development. It's more like they don't have anything to yet. So they're filling in the space with all these sort of like pseudo exclusives.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next? Wayfinder. What the fuck is this shit?
Generic the game.
Actually, you know what, Brian? You know what? I clicked on this trailer. Someone said the new online multiplayer game. I instantly stopped the trailer. I'm like, okay, you told me all I need to know.
Wayfinder? I don't get it.
No, Wayfinder.
Is it a truck simulator or something? Like, are you driving and trying to find new?
No, it looks like Fortnite shit? Or something.
Oh, it's weird because I watched it, but I totally blanked out on that one too.
Yeah, no, like I said, as soon as it said online multiplayer, I instantly stopped the trailer. I'm like, I don't need to watch anymore. Yep.
I'm interested because, of course, I am.
Yeah. What interests you about it?
It's a third-person melee RPG online. Like, I don't like a lot of the online games because, like, man, I like first-person shooting, but not that much, and especially something where I'm supposed to be like grinding gear that I'm never going to be able to see. Like, it's just It does look a little Fortnite-y, but it also looks a little Warcrafty. I like that old school kind of Blizzard style. So I don't know. I just like online hack and slash games, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it the abs, Brett?
Yeah, you got me.
I'm new to the abs. So is the abs, I guess, Brett.
Yeah, it's always the abs.
But
it looks fun. It looks snappy. It looks flashy. It doesn't look like it's not going to be.
It doesn't look like all the shooting games they were showing in the stream.
I mean, does it look like a Fortnite clone? Like, let's just cut to the core of that question. It definitely has that style. I think the whole industry is kind of gravitating towards that style, though, because they went super realism and everyone went, meh, I'm sick of that.
Well, to be honest, to do more stylized Fortnite games, for as much modeling that they do, if you go with a more stylized game, you won't need to go that hard on everything. You don't need to worry too much about how light shines through skin and all kinds of other things. So
yep, I would agree with that.
And I mean, it tends to age a lot better than a lot of the hyper realistic games.
It's also been made by Digital Extremes, so they have some pedigree in making third-person melee-based games. So it should be good. Well, but then again, going back to what our discussion was early on in the show, the game studios that were back then are not the same now. So you can totally discard what I just said. Lovely.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Next up. Oh, Brian.
Your favorite game.
Brian, here we go.
Is it GTA 5 again?
No. Goodbye, Good. Volcano High.
That launch trailer.
Let's fucking go.
Wait.
It's coming out.
Play that game. Twice.
I thought it was released. No.
Nope. It's just now coming out.
Yeah, it was announced. It was announced at the
PlayStation 5 reveal.
Launch
Yeah.
Trailer.
Yep.
Yeah, the 5 reveal. That game was on there. Aren't you excited?
Yeah. Don't you want to play the dinosaur?
Julio.
You want to
Yeah.
Damn right.
You want to play angsty dinosaurs with the rhythm game?
Oh gosh, I just had like the worst thought ever that went to my head, and basically I was watching the trailer just now, and my first thought was, this looks like the Velma TV show.
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, jeez, I actually didn't even notice that. I'm like, this looks familiar. Like, I swear I've seen this before. Like, yeah, Velma. Like, oh no. Yeah. Tony, can we just jump to like the VR games? They'll be like less painful than this.
Why did the dinosaurs have smartphones?
You know, because they're they're Dino Kids, and I don't know why they're. Does that mean at the end of
why are the dinosaurs using Photoshop?
I mean, to be honest, like, you know, they're supposed to be.
Why are the dinosaurs texting?
Because they're. You know what? You know what would be crazy if that game ends with the meteor.
Yeah, like dinosaurs, like the show.
Yeah.
Probably be the only good thing about the game when all the characters are killed.
When the meteor comes,
they all were never able to achieve their eternal greatness. Their band was never able to get big.
Yeah, this is stupid. All right,
Dino social media turns against them.
Yeah,
just go play Persona. It's pretty much this, but better.
Just go play Hi-Fi Rush. Why are we angsty dinosaur children?
Because Zoomers, Manny. Because Zoomers.
Yeah.
If they made like a dinosaur game where you can actually play it as a dinosaur and like mess up like a whole like town and hunt things, I'd be for that.
I'm pretty sure that game exists.
This is almost like I guess it's like indie comics have made its way into indie games. You know, this is the one that you would find in the back of the comic book store. You know,
it'd be on sale. It's like 99-cent box.
It would be the one. It would be the one that would there would be one of the odd staff picks that you would find at the front of the store. Yeah. All right. Dinosaur of the game.
Yeah. All right, what else do we have here?
Get this something good, man. Get this something.
No, I think the rest of it is just gonna be shit.
Well, because Tony read it from the top shit. Now we're going to now we're essentially going to the start of the show. So
yeah, hey, listen,
it's not gonna get any better from here, buddy.
Yeah, it's not. It's gonna get worse probably. Actually, all these. Do I even need to read these? All a bunch of VR games.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of VR games. One of them, as I remember, the survival VR game, which Digital Foundry did a little featurette on because it was made for PS4. Then they put it on the shitty Oculus Rift with its lousy hardware, and then they put it back onto the main console. So that's what they were. That's the big one on that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go through each one by one. There's fucking VR games. I don't give a shit.
Then there's the End Dreams one, which is a shooter sort of game, first person, VR shooter, and you're sort of hiding and sliding around and stuff. The big thing about End Dreams is End Dreams used to make stuff for those of you who played the PlayStation Home. You know, they used to make a lot of stuff for that. So they did that. They're doing that game.
What game?
And then that's this one other shooter game that they should have in there. I can't remember what the name of it is.
Journey to Foundation.
I guess so. They look like weird, weird polygon people.
I don't know.
Anyway, all I know is that there was 3 games that had shooting VR in it.
Yeah, because of course. They also had a Naruto game. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, they had the Naruto game, which
they make like 5 of those a year. What the hell?
They really do.
I don't know. I love how when they take Ninja Storm and they're just adding extra titles to it. Like it's called like Naruto and Ninja Storm, blah 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 on the bottom. Like it's like this absurdly long name. And it just as with every single
Naruto
one of those
and Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections.
Yeah, it's literally a recap of the whole Naruto series in a video game.
Isn't Boruto his son?
Yes.
You mean Bruto? I call him Bruto.
I don't know. I don't care.
I don't know what his thing. Like,
wow, I'm just gonna cut to that. What a terrible state of play, man.
Yeah, it was really whelming.
This is awful. No, I'm gonna say underwhelming. This is awful.
Yeah, it is not. It was not like
Was it live?
A lot of people.
No,
it was no. It's never. They're never live. They're just pre-recorded. Sizzle videos with narration. Pretty much, whatever the Nintendo thing is with now since Iwata passed away. It's kind of like that, or it's just a bunch of trailers with readovers. Wah.
Yeah.
So okay. We haven't heard anything from Microsoft. We hadn't heard anything from Sony, and the first things that they show up with are these two shows. Why can't we should just skip this generation? Really? Like
you had a point. Yeah, the Microsoft one was pretty bad too.
We're literally halfway through the generation. This would be, under normal circumstances, this would be halfway through a normal console generation. It's usually 6 years, right? Halfway through at least most of the consoles, by year 2, they've already had stuff.
But everything is weird. Like, the prices by this point would be going down, not up.
No. Their prices are going. Yeah, what was it? Year two, they announced that there was going to be a price hike, right? Or was it year 1?
What?
I can't remember.
Price hike, it's this year, year 2.
Yeah, year 2, I think.
Year 2. So to try to catch that thunder from when they were making all that money during the pandemic, right? Every single company's doing this right now. We're at a recession, and they're all raising their prices. Now that everybody can get out in the streets to get their shit, come on, guys, drop those prices. Well,
you heard Xbox is now doing with
drop
PlayStation.
Those games.
Yeah, drop the games. How about that? Yeah, no, you heard Xbox is raising its price on consoles now.
Of course they are.
So yeah.
In India.
No, but remember. They're doing it what Sony did. Sony raised the price all over the world. Now Xbox is doing it.
They're raising the prices all over the Nobody wants to be seen as the inferior one, because it's a cheap one.
Yeah,
I want it that way.
Whatever.
Yeah, this is a bad generation, man.
I hate to sound all doom and gloom about
No, you're right.
Stuff,
but the thing is, think about it. We've been saying this since before the generation started.
Mm-hmm. And this is also coming from me, who doesn't really buy that many games per year anyway. Like PlayStation, I didn't feel that PlayStation 4 generation was as bad as everybody else felt on the panel, but then again, like, I found all the games that I ever wanted came out, as well as nice surprises. But it just seems like what we are is just like, what are we getting? We're getting a bunch of remakes. We're getting sequels. We're getting multiplayer sequels that are loosely connected to franchises. What is the cornerstone of this generation? Can you even know? Do you even know? Do we even know what that is?
There is,
because
none.
It seems like every single previous one had that thing.
This
seems like it's like throwing a bunch of shit out of a wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, basically. Like, yeah, even from this thing, the only 2 trailers I liked were one was a remake, Resident Evil 4. Mm-hmm. Another one was Street Fighter 6, which is a sequel, and they're both from the same company, which is ironic enough. But yeah, no, it's terrible. This is such a terrible, disappointing generation.
Like Manny said, we're getting a bunch of sequels to multiplayer games, remasters or remakes disguised as remasters. We're getting cross-gen games for God knows how long, like 2-3 years into the generation, and we're getting more goddamn Mario Kart 8 courses.
And the sad part of a lot of this is because they're too afraid to take any chances, because they're spending so much goddamn money on this stuff. As I'm sure the Resident Evil remake, just like the Dead Space remake, is going to be great. But the thing is, they're not doing anything new. They're just adding a little bit extra to something that would already made money if they just did it before. And it's not. It's like copying somebody else's answers. You're not learning anything.
I will say this though, to be fair to Capcom, at least they've provided new Resident Evil games, sprinkled in a couple, But some other companies are really bad at it.
I mean, I'm sure that multiplayer dinosaur game is not going to do well for them, but at least it's a new title.
It's multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. Whatever that dinosaur game is, I don't know what the hell that game is called. The one where they fall out of the time portals.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
And then there's that other one.
Exo Prime.
Yeah, and then there's that other trailer for that one game with the cyborg girl and the guy in the spacesuit. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I forgot. I know what you mean. That didn't come out.
That's another one of the launch trailers, right?
I think so. Yeah. Man. All right, let's move on before we get more depressed about this stupid generation. Final Fantasy 16 and Spider-Man 2 will make PlayStation gamers very happy this year. Yeah, and I'm, you know what, glad you win. I'm really glad you bring this up.
Yep.
Because those two games, let's just say they hit exactly how you want, right? That's still only like 2 games out of a handful of games for the entire generation so far. That alone won't just wipe the slate clean, you know.
By the way, I'm going back to the doom and gloom. Not to do with Sony. One of the games that a lot of us are anticipating, well, some of us are anticipating, Starfield. We still haven't gotten a release date for that, and we're already we're about to be in March. It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's the start of this year has started a lot better than last year. I will say that.
I agree. I agree with that.
But man, at least for me and Tony, the games that we're into, we still have to wait for those to come to fruition.
We're still waiting.
Even last year, probably through March, we had Horizon and Elden Ring come out, which filled the belly a little bit.
Elden Ring did a lot of heavy lifting last year.
Let's be frank. Elden Ring carried the hell out of last year.
Yeah,
and to be honest, Elden Ring is not even a current gen game. It's a last gen.
It's a last gen game. Yeah, isn't that sad? The best game that we've played so far is a fucking last gen game. That is sad, man. Logic Win says he's lost faith in Starfield. Until I have it in my hands, I'm assuming it's going to be canceled.
Damn.
Yeah, listen, that's more doom and gloom than we are, man.
I can't blame the brother. I can't blame him. Because you've got to that point where the game gets like so much like this, and I'm not going to believe it's real until it's in my hand. That's how I felt about The Last Guardian. Like, I'm not believing shit until it's in my PlayStation. And even then, I still didn't believe it until I fired it up. But yeah, upsetting. All right, speaking about more upsetting news, Shinji Mikami has left Tango Gameworks.
That's it. It seems so sudden, but apparently he kind of said this. He's like, after a few more games, I'm done. I'm retiring, and it's so weird to have that happen after essentially, kind of the crash and burn of Ghostwire, but then Hi-Fi Rush is the little high point for them. So it's an interesting thing. So what's going to happen to their company now?
And then he found the company?
He founded the company.
Yeah. It's interesting, man.
And why did Bethesda put out that statement? Do they own?
Yeah,
they do.
They own
ZeniMax or Bethesda. Yeah.
Well, I guess you don't like Microsoft.
Evil Within stuff. Those are all.
Yeah. So he's. I don't know. I mean, I always.
Phil Spencer went to him. You want to make Battletoads? He's like, yeah, I quit.
No, or what was it? Like friggin' what's his face from Platinum Games? Like, listen, man, those Microsoft people, don't fuck with those people, because do you remember what happened to us? Who knows? So I don't know. I mean, especially after again, like having a moderate sort of success sort of game, and then having the other one. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, we'll find out he has another company somewhere else. Because I mean, to be honest, he did start Platinum Games too. He was one of the founders of Platinum Games. He left that, and he had some other company, and then he made Tango Gameworks and did The Evil Within. So far, I would have to say this about Shinji. I mean, there are fans of The Evil Within, especially since the second one. But he hasn't been swinging for the, he's been, hitting some pretty bad, hits,
So would you say that he tangoed and cashed out?
Oh,
he might have.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It could have been about maybe his contracts was up. It's like, all right, you have one more game in you, and he released it. That Hi-Fi Rush one day. Like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, he was the producer on that one. He didn't even direct it. I think the last one he did direct was Ghostwire, and that didn't do so well for them. And that was their big cornerstone game. But who knows?
Oh yeah, Tango Ghostwire, yeah.
Yeah, that was his. They've only officially Tango Gameworks has only really released a total of 4 games. The 2 Evil Within games, Ghostwire, and Hi-Fi Rush, and that's it.
Do we know what he's going to be doing next?
Don't know. They don't say.
Yeah, they don't say.
I mean, the thing, like, when it comes to Japanese developers, they're a little bit mysterious whenever they sort of walk away off of something, right? I mean, the only one that you really sort of knew because of all the leaks that happened behind the scenes, Kojima, you knew what was going on with him.
Yeah.
As far as, that stuff. But for Shinji, it could be a couple of different reasons. Maybe he wants to go back and maybe he realized he's been spending too long away from his family. Who knows? So I'll wish him the best of luck. I miss, I know he hasn't had a hit in a while, but dude, that's the guy that created Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of games. Like, what was it? He has like a bunch. Like,
did he still get a cut from that? Did he get any kind of?
I don't know about that.
I don't know how that works.
I don't think so. I mean,
well, the irony, the remake is, it's based on the game he directed that he created. RE4 is the way it is because of him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he created Resident Evil and then he also revamped it. So, he has a lot of games under his belt. I think he's got Beautiful Joe too. I think that's him too.
Yeah, it is.
What's up with that? If any game,
they abandoned that shit. Yeah, you got.
After 2, they abandoned it.
Talk to Capcom.
Yeah. Well, that went with Clover Studio.
Yeah,
I think that was also one of his like an internal studio for him too there. So, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. What do we have here? All right. Microsoft signs a 10-year deal to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo. The most random fucking thing.
Slow down. Wait. Well, here's the thing. Today they announced it's not just Call of Duty. It's all Microsoft games. Halo, Gears, Forza. It's everything.
They're all coming up Nintendo.
All of them. All coming to Nintendo and GeForce.
Yeah, GeForce. Yeah, so I got that in
both of them too. Yeah, so both of them, because that's the thing. Everybody picked up, Call of Duty, and then today they went more into it. I'm like, wait, it's not just Call of Duty. It's all our games. We are releasing all our games. They're all going to go over to Nintendo and GeForce. That's part of the deal.
Yeah, but you know what? You know why they're doing that, though.
Of course. But
this is to try to make it seem that they're not a monopoly.
Well, the three companies that were against them now has gone down to 2 because it was Google, Sony, and Nvidia because of the GeForce, because they were saying they were going to monopolize and the whole thing with the streaming, gaming streaming. And then now that they partnered up, they're like, all right, we're on the other side of the fence. Then EA said, yeah, we're okay with this too. So it's down to just 2. We'll see what happens. We're supposed to get some kind of result or something.
I will mention this. I didn't see all games. I just saw Xbox games. So it wasn't really specific to.
That's why they announced it today to clarify. It was like, it's all on Microsoft.
Oh, so they clarified that? Okay.
Today, let me read this. This is Brad Smith. He's the president of Microsoft. We've now signed a binding 10-year contract to bring Xbox game to Nintendo's gamers. This is just part of our commitment to bring Xbox games and Activision titles like Call of Duty to more players on more platforms. So yes, that's Xbox games.
Yeah, Xbox games. It's not just Call of Duty.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's a big deal right there. Like the older games we know can work on Switch because it can play PS3 games and stuff. That generate PS4 games, old ones. So I'm sure the old Gears and Halo work on there, and that might be enough. They didn't say new shit. It could be all the old stuff.
Did they mention? No, I don't see anything about Game Pass here. It's just going to be interesting to see how.
They didn't mention anything about bringing Game Pass, just as a game. And then here's the thing, though. That GeForce, I gotta check. They said as of the signing of the document that it's active. So in theory, that means that the game should be on there now, because it's their games. It's not just Call of Duty; it's all their games. So that should all be there now. They said they were going to link it with their streaming service. So if you go on there, you should be able to see all the other games that were there, like the Wolfenstein and all that stuff, Fallout.
Yeah. I have a question, potentially stupid question.
Why?
So Microsoft has a CEO. That's Nadella, right?
Nadella's the overall
Microsoft. He is the one.
And this guy's the president.
He's the president. He's underneath.
Yeah. So he's underneath Nadella? Okay. Because to me, in my mind, I would think president would be above CEO.
I think it is above CEO because I think president has more of a sort of.
Nadella is the one that makes final call for everything. He signs.
Well, he's the one that runs everything, but I think
when you hear Phil talk about it, he's like, I have to clear with Nadella. Nadella gave us to go ahead for this. Nadella made this. He's like the one that makes final say. It might be replaced our boy developer. This dude, what's his name? The big dude that retired. That's his replacement. I'm blanking on his name.
The big dude, Reggie.
No, that was that took over for
Kojima.
No, he was going bald. Big dude. He used to be a football.
What, Steve Ballmer?
Steve Ballmer, yeah. He took over for him. Steve Ballmer gave him the ring.
But Ballmer it's because he was an owner. He founded Microsoft.
But when Bill Gates stepped down, he took full control. And then when he stepped down, he gave it to Nadella. Nadella now has full control. It was a big deal when that happened. And then we had all these other ones. And then remember, Phil got bumped up to, was it vice president or some shit? He's got a bigger title than what it was before. Because he was also at that event.
All right. But again, just answer my question. So Nadella is still the top guy, right?
He's still
Okay. Yeah, because I was just like, president, hold on a second,
Yeah, no, but you saw him. He was waving that envelope, walking around with that envelope. And I'm like, what's in the envelope? Oh, this is a contract for Sony to sign. So if they're down to sign it, we can sign it right now. And they took pictures and they posted up online. I was like, yeah, this is it. Just sign it.
Yeah, no, Sony.
We'll give you a bunch of Microsoft games.
Right, we'll even give you some COG points.
Yeah, Sony's being really fucking weird about this shit, man.
This is gonna burn them.
Yeah, it could. Yeah,
even when if this doesn't happen, it's gonna put a bad taste in all these other developers' mouths about this shit. Because you know what it really comes down to, and they got disclosed during this whole thing, is that they're paying a lot less to get Call of Duty than other platforms. They pay less than Xbox, and they pay less for PC, Steam, and all of them, and that's what they don't want to lose because they get it at like a discount price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. At the end of the day, it's all about Call of Duty.
That's all.
Yeah. All right. What else? Okay, so we got that going on again.
I'm
very
sure
interesting.
I'm sure Xbox fans are not happy about that. About the deal going to all of their exclusives.
Oh, that I haven't been on Twitter, so I don't know what the temperature is. But
maybe they don't even know. Who knows?
Maybe they think it's just Call it. That's been getting all the attention so much. It's like, oh, it's Call of Duty. It's like, well, what about all the others? Fuck that, Call of Duty.
Pero why?
All right. And Adam, you already mentioned this. Xbox PC games coming to Nvidia GeForce Now. That's pretty big. That's a big deal.
Is that already? I mean, that's the thing. I got to see if they said as soon as they signed it that it would be binding and that they can make that active ASAP. They're not. That doesn't require the Activision deal to go through. That it just says that if it does go through, it's a guarantee that those games will carry over also.
Yeah.
So that is a big deal. It is a big deal, and that's when they like jump ship on right there. And that was a big part of it too. It's like they were against the whole process of like, oh no, you're gonna monopolize. Oh wait, what? Oh, we can get these games too. All right, let's do it. Let's make this happen. Shake hands, kiss babies.
Adam, for those of us that forgot exactly how GeForce Now worked, could you remind us?
Yeah, you can just sign in to GeForce Now. Go to their website. It's like $4.99 a month. And there was a bunch of games when it first launched. It had almost all the Capcom games. It Street Fighter. It still has Ubisoft. It also what was it? There was some of the BattleNet games that were on there, and then all of a sudden they just started disappearing. Turns out a lot of these publishers didn't really understand what was happening. I don't get that either. How do you not know they're creating a streaming gaming service? What's hard to understand about that? But they all pulled, except Ubisoft out of the big ones, and they even had a connection with a few other publishers that wound up backing out. But a lot of the smaller ones are still there. You can still play all the popular games like Fortnite and stuff. But Doom is a game that I used to play, the 2016 version. I used to play, and then Bethesda pulled out. Now, that was before Microsoft bought them. And I was like, so it's great to see if that's back. All those games will be back. And you can sign in. I used to play it through my Nvidia Shield. I have an Nvidia Shield delivery. It had a little app that's built into it, and poof, you connect through the GeForce, and you could stream your games and you could play them. So that was it. And it works. It was good.
Did you have to buy the games first, or how did that? I always confuse all these things.
It worked with your Steam. You could buy them, but it would link to your Steam and your Epic Game Store. So you link your Steam and Epic Games, and then you can play the games from your collections. Then last I checked a year ago, the Epic was gone from there, and it was just Steam. So I was like, that kind of sucks.
And it makes sense with Microsoft putting more and more of their games on.
It definitely helps in that way because, for example, like I just mentioned, I have the Nvidia Shield. A lot of people have it. That's still one of the best devices that you can have when it comes to streaming media and stuff connected to your TV. And it works with Google, a modified version of Google. It has its app store, but it doesn't have the Game Pass app in the Google store there. It doesn't work. So you can't do it. And it doesn't have there's a browser, but the browser's crap on it. It doesn't really work. So this is great then, because then that means that if you do have this service and you have an Nvidia Shield, poof, there you go. Now you got all the games from Microsoft. At least you don't have Game Pass because that's a lot of third-party games, but you have all those first-party games you can now play on there. Now, they didn't say if it would be day one releases like Game Pass, but it just said that they will be putting their games on there. So I guess it's to Microsoft's the discretion of what games they want to put at what time.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to ask, because I do have GeForce Now, the Founders Edition. I was like, am I going to be able to play Xbox games without being subscribed to Game Pass?
Yeah, it didn't say anything about day one releases and stuff like that. Because remember, Game Pass also has a lot of third-party stuff on it. That's not Microsoft stuff. They can't sign off on that. They're just saying all the stuff we own, all the Bethesda games, all of those, the first-party Halo and all that stuff. Yeah, that can be on there.
Yeah, no, because I was wondering if I could play Atomic Hearts through this without being on Game Pass.
No. In fact, if you have it right now, just take a look. Just go on the GeForce site, sign in, and then type in the name of a game. Type in Doom. If you see it, then that means that it went active. They said once pen to paper that they were going to make that shit active.
By the way, I'm downloading the app right now, so if something happens, now you know. Oh no, we're good. So you say so write in Doom, right? Doom.
Just type in Doom, because Doom was pulled.
Oh, okay. Let's see, Doom.
So if you see it, that means it's back.
No Doom.
No Doom.
Like it says, nothing to see here.
Yeah, nothing to see there. But Ubisoft said type in the Division, you'll see that. That's
the Division, right? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Ubisoft was like one of the few publishers. Even EA pulled a lot of that shit from there too.
Man.
It was really sad because the same thing. I was a founder member. I loved it, covered it. I was like, this is gonna be the future. And then every week it was like Capcom backed out, Bethesda backed out, all these other companies started backing out.
Midnight Suns is on this shit. I'm not gonna play that though. Waste my time.
So it's good. It definitely helps. Them just put some justification to their whole cause.
Oh shit! Atomic Heart is on this.
Yeah, but you have to buy it because they'll have it. They'll sell it. It's a store. They also have their own store.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if you sign in with your Steam account, then you can play Steam games.
Yeah, as long as I have them, Yeah, and they're available on the service.
Yeah,
I remember. Right, good stuff. Yeah. Fuck. What are we talking about right now? Microsoft president to push Activision deal at EU hearing. So yeah, that's still going on. You know,
that happened. Oh, that was amazing. Did you see those pictures?
No, yeah. So this was from a couple days ago. So what happened?
Yeah, that was massive. So they had that big meeting, and they said like hundreds of people there, and they were almost all of them were lawyers.
Oh shit!
They had Activision with all their lawyers. They had EA showed up with their lawyers because they were invited to discuss this. Of course, Nvidia was there, Google was there, Microsoft. So there was a few other ones, big companies, and all the companies got 15 minutes to say yay or nay their reasoning for it, except Sony. Sony got 30 minutes. Right? Weird, you know, and I don't understand it. But then when the president of Microsoft came out, and is that picture that's making the rounds that he put on a big screen, and it shows like a big pie for graphics is 80%.
Yeah, I saw that shit, man.
20. Yeah, that's how he opened. He said, let's just look at the facts. He says, Europe, 80% is controlled when it comes to game market by Sony. We are 20%. We are nothing. You know, it's like, and then he just went in deep on all of it. And then it was like almost a quickie. He was looking over at that panel. It was like, if you block this, you're blocking progress. You're blocking growth in the industry. We just made these deals with these two large companies, with Nintendo and Nvidia. We're putting it on more platforms. They threw out a number of like 150 million new gamers will now have access to all these games. And it's like, and why? Why can't we do it? Because Sony doesn't want the competition. Because they clearly, even if this goes through, we are not going to take over 80% from 20%. It's just not possible.
Yeah, by the way, real quick, big shout out to Dirty Death Dealer gifting subs, man. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, and by the way, Dirty Death Dealer will also be gifting some other stuff in the near future. I'm talking to him, so shout out to him. Yeah, if you guys remember, Dirty Death Dealer, he helped me give some stuff away to some fans years ago. So we're going to be doing that again soon. So shout out to the brother, you know, longtime supporter of Throwdown, man. One of the originals, you know,
the OGs.
Good stuff, man.
So it's going to be interesting. I think we're supposed to find out tomorrow because they said that they were going to make their decision shortly after. Now we didn't hear a lot of stuff was closed door. There were some things they were allowed to show after it. And then things that came out from news reporters that were there and stuff. But there's still a lot of we don't know.
Talking about the FTC?
Not the FTC.
You down with FTC? Yeah, you know me.
The European one. This wasn't the FTC.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
This was all in Europe that took place. That
apparently, China already approved.
Yeah, no, China. Well, Tencent approved it. No surprise.
Of course.
Yeah, they said we're all for this, of course, because they're constantly gobbling up other companies. But yeah, so they approved it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But and then
Microsoft,
3 unions showed up. So you got
Microsoft. 3 unions. Oh, my bad.
So then they had 3 unions. They were talking that and employees and then companies and different developers that are based out in the UK, talking about how this is great for them and growth because they're not closing down studios. They're just going to be expanding, and then this gives them opportunities to move around. I mean, they presented all kinds of stuff, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But one thing they definitely said, because remember that when we talked about last week, that one of the things that the commission was talking about is like, oh, well, you can break off Call of Duty. How about that? Buy everything and then break off skill code. They said, nope, flat out no. That's like, if you say that the only way we can do this is if we have everything without Call of Duty, then the deal is that we're not doing it. We're backing up. And it's all done. And you just decided with the market leader instead of building a competitive market. Yeah, he flat out, he said a better speech than what I did, but I mean, it was something like that. It was like a mic drop moment. It's like, if you don't want to grow, then go ahead, then we're out. But come on now. And then that whole time he left it up 80-20%. Keep looking at that number, 80-20%.
Microsoft's gonna go to the FTC. Is like, owning the industry, we just lost a Japanese guy.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm curious to find out how Sony responds to that. They have 30 minutes. If it didn't already happen today, then it's happening tomorrow. But it's supposed to happen by that.
Lincoln Douglas?
Yo, by the way, Logic Wins. He's right. He goes there. It's 80-20 because they didn't include Nintendo.
Yeah, all that.
Ain't that
because Nintendo don't hate.
But it's just funny. It's just funny that like Microsoft is pretty much going, "Yo, we ain't shit." You know, it's funny to me.
Oh yeah. Now, apparently, the number's a lot closer when it comes to the United States.
Yeah, the United States closer.
Show that, but it's alright. It makes sense that didn't come up because this is the Europeans Commission over there. This is that market, so that's all they care about. But apparently, some reporters that were there that just they saw the faces of the panel over there and they were kind of shocked. Like, I guess they didn't. You know what it is? It's that whole thing of we know Microsoft as the big bad, right? Because they got all the money, they got Windows, they got everything. Come on, they're dominating what you would think. But then when you see something like this, and then I guess they don't know, they're not in the gaming world, they don't know that. They just know the big company names, and they see this and they're like in disbelief, like that can't be. We thought this was a much tighter race or market. What is this? This is not going to swing that pendulum all the way one side. So,
yeah.
But it's not the first time that Microsoft has fallen behind and shit. Look at the cell phones. That was garbage. They tried their cell phones. It didn't work. Look at the Zoom. That shit didn't work. It died out. It's not everything they touch turns to gold. It's pretty much just Windows that have really kept them up there in the enterprise software, Office, stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. What do we have here? Okay. So, more acquisition stuff. So Bungie says its new games won't be PlayStation exclusives, which is interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I wonder, I they keep sort of saying stuff like that. It makes me wonder what, what kind of deal are they? I mean, were they fully acquired by them, or what is the deal with them?
What's the deal with Bungie?
What's the deal with Bungie?
Yeah,
I think they fully own them. Yeah,
they put it on them. I don't. But Tencent, didn't Tencent give him like $100,000 for some shit too a while ago?
Yeah, but different companies can own different parts of other companies, but Sony owns probably the majority of what Bungie is. But yeah, I mean, maybe there was a clause or something where it's like these people are the ones that get to decide whether Destiny or whatever Bungie led title releases, whether it be multi-plat or not. Who knows?
Weren't they? Sony was over at the Bungie studio to that big announcement for that new DLC. Hype that up. So I think they do own them.
No, they own Bungie. Yeah, there's no question about that. It's not like partial. It's like, no, they fully own them.
Yeah, because they paid like $1 billion something, right? Wasn't it like, and people kept saying, "Damn, you overpaid."
How much did they pay actually? Let me look that up.
A few billion. Take a look. It's definitely a few billion. That people are like, what?
Yo, but Sony broke though.
For a company that's got one IP. Come on, I couldn't say if they had a catalog of stuff.
They got a catalog of DLCs.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, $3.6 billion. Yep.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, if Bungie was a free agent right now, they'd probably go up. They'll probably sell for more than that right now.
Probably would, yeah.
And if it was Microsoft, it definitely would. Microsoft.
They don't want to go back there. They don't want to go back.
Yeah. I don't know. I will never understand that. I don't know why the hell Microsoft didn't even try to get Bungie. It just made the most logical sense. Get Bungie, make them make Halo again. Come on.
That must have happened. It's got to be just bad blood with the upper management.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Could be.
Not only did they let them go, remember they sold them their stock back. Buy it back. Get the hell out. Get the stepping.
You can't get the stepping.
They gave them such a nice spot too. I know Carlos, you remember this. Halo 3. It came in the box. It came with that documentary disc, and it showed how they worked together. They bought a Lowe's, those Lowe's hardware stores, and that was their studio. It looked amazing. They did everything. They had like a booth and a section for audio stuff. All the artists were in another part. They kept everything in this huge Lowe's building. Looked amazing. And it's like, well, it's all gone now.
All right, man. Yeah, that's it. Done, man.
That's it.
Yeah, this is what you get in the gaming industry now, man.
Dun, dun, dun.
You know,
the drama between two big companies.
Oh well, here's something. Here's some news, and it's something I want to share to see. I was going to say for the questions, but this will give people something to think about for the questions. So, Pinball Effects is out, right? You know, that's
what is that?
The pinball, the people that make Pinball Effects 2, 3. You know, we've all played those pinball games.
I've never played those.
Anybody? No one here has played a Pinball Effects game.
No,
never even heard of them until now.
Are you kidding?
Well, no, I mean they've been around for years, but you know, like
the Star Wars games, all of those. Yeah. They make all those.
They sell different. Their whole deal is that they sell. Like,
are these like physicals or like?
No. These are
they make all these special tables,
okay.
Like digital tables. There's different. As you play, you unlock other parts of the table. It comes alive and stuff, and then they still have the throwback designs, the original one. William table.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, go on.
So anyway, so they just released a new one, right? So I just reviewed that. But the interesting part is they're adding a subscription service for pinball table. So for $15 a month, you get access to over 80 tables, and every month you keep paying, and they always add new tables to get access. And then for $100, you get this for a year. And for the first time, for anybody that's played these tables, you can then log into this service, whether on a PlayStation, a phone, Android app, or whatever, and then play all these tables. So it's like a Game Pass just for pinball table. You know, like it's all these different license deals. They got the Universal Studios and the Gearbox, all the other ones, and you get access. So it's just very interesting to see if something like this happens. Now, here's the problem, though. When it launched, that they said, you know, quote, there's a bug or something, and they had to not launch that feature, that cross purchase feature. But I'm just curious, is anybody that listens to the show are big into pinball? Could they see themselves paying $15 a month just to play pinball tables, or even $100 a year to play pinball tables? Think what you can do with that money, like Game Pass or PlayStation Plus or something. You know what I mean? Like, this is just pinball.
Sounds like a waste of money to me, but then again, I'm not into pinball.
Well, that's the question. I don't know many people that are. You have to really be into pinball if you think about it.
I think I could speak for the fans saying they don't care either. You know? By the way, real quick, I almost forgot to say something. Hey, Brian.
What up?
Did you hear that a certain Wizard game has sold 12 million copies in 2 weeks?
I did hear about that. I'm not overly surprised, but it did. Again, people like that game. I guess there's 2 million. What? Sorry, 12 million. You said
12 million. Yes, 12 million.
There's 12 million transphobes out there.
Yeah. Those boycotts really worked, didn't they? You know.
Do we get sales numbers on another game that came out
a year ago?
Last year?
No, we didn't. You know, but think about it like this: right? This game already outsold God of War. That was 11 million, which Sony did say. Yeah, wow. Go ahead.
Elden Ring numbers. We got an update. 20 million.
Damn, that's crazy.
I know that's not the right time and place for this. Well, right time, wrong time, right place. Do you think that the Wizards game can outsell Elden Ring?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. It's a bigger IP.
Yeah. I think so. At this rate, it'll probably outsell it by another 2 weeks. You know,
another 2 weeks. Just it's crazy because I mean. It is a way more popular IP than whatever the Soulsborne was or is. So yeah, it definitely has the ability to surpass it because you know when you have little kids, it's a little kids game.
Yeah, it is.
It's both adults really like it and little kids like it. Adam mentioned, you know,
my daughter likes it.
So you know, it has a lot more crossover than a game like Elden Ring. So I wouldn't be surprised if it surpassed it by the end of the year.
It's all about that family entertainment, man. You get in that slot, man, you be making money.
Oh, by the way, and Brian, the term is not transphobes; it's Potterheads. Potterheads are crazy, man. They're ride and die for Harry Potter. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, no, it's a huge franchise, you know.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
So yeah, very interesting how all this brouhaha didn't affect the game whatsoever. In some cases, it may have even helped. You know, the Streisand effect.
I will say the one thing about like the Twitterverse and the real world.
Two different
places.
The
real world and the Twitter world, they do not reflect each other.
No, they do.
People, I'm sure people who bought this game didn't even know what any of what she said or didn't say.
What's the JK Rowling?
They probably don't even know who created the damn thing.
Yeah, they just hear Harry Potter, they hear Hogwarts, and they buy it.
Exactly.
You know,
that brings back all the good feels.
Yeah, can't say the same for Fantastic Beasts though. That franchise of movies hasn't been doing amazingly.
I still don't understand that. So that's a sequel. That's a sequel.
It's a prequel. It's a sort of a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess to like add to this, like it's kind of good that the Blizzard game sold well, because then it shows that, again, to Tony's points, people still enjoy single player games.
Yep, that's also true.
There is no multiplayer. There's no announced DLC for the game. You know, the game just came out and said, "Hey, here's all the things. Do it." You know?
Yeah, well, with all those numbers they're making, you know, there's going to be Quidditch DLC and whatever that chess game that they have in there is.
Yeah, I know, but for the moment, you get the complete game. Remember when that used to be a thing?
Yeah, they were like, nothing, no plans yet. They said also of making any DLC.
They're making enough money. You know, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
And you know they're probably going to make I heard they're already talking about trying to make a TV series based on Hogwarts Legacy. Kind of interesting.
Well, I'm really surprised they haven't done that already.
Like a TV show.
Yeah, just
they're going to make a. They're going to make a
Hogwarts. That's it. Just call it Hogwarts.
Brian, get ready for another one.
We got Riverdale, and that was from Archie. If they can do it off of Archie, you could definitely do it off of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They should make like and this is like a radical idea, but just stay with me here. They should make like a movie or like a set of movies based on the game, where like this kid like goes through like the school years, you know, and then like he like fights like a villain at the end of like all, let's say, 8 films. You know, I think that'd be a cool idea.
Well, they're making
books as well after it as well, because you know, like this Hogwarts Legacy thing. It seems like it's built for books, so they should make books off it.
Yeah, you know, they really should. Oh,
by the way, they are making a movie based off of the play, The Cursed Child. I don't know if anyone is familiar with it. Yeah, so they're making more Potter stuff.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen a single one of those fucking movies, and I don't intend to. And it's not because I'm an activist; it's just I don't care about little kid shit. You know.
It sounds like you have an agenda.
No, you like Spider-Man. You like superheroes. That's considered little kid shit.
No, it's not, man. You know, no, it's not. Spider-Verse is, but not like like Spider-Man movies or something. You know.
I mean, it used to be here, Tony. I just realized something. After somebody had kind of mentioned that they're a fan. There's a few year difference, right? Where like, and then because me and my sister are on both sides of this divide. She's on 6 years. She's 6 years younger than me, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Lord of the Rings man, Aragon all day, right? She's Harry Potter fan, and you got to think those franchises weren't that far apart.
No, as a matter of fact, it's funny you bring it up because I remember they both the first movies. I'm just talking about the movies now. They came out the same year, right? And I was like, okay. I'm not into, because I was really, Manny, you know this, I was not into fantasy at all. It's like, fuck this shit. Yep. This is fruity. I'm into sci-fi. That's what I like. But I was like, you know what? Let me give this fantasy stuff a try. These are two big fantasy movies. Which one am I going to watch? I'll watch the one that kind of started the modern version of fantasy. I'm sticking with Lord of the Rings, and I think I made the right choice. You know?
Yeah, he had Tony, just like how Tony didn't care for Westerns, he wasn't very adamant with medieval sort of stuff.
And by the way, even now, I got to be very selective when it comes to my fantasy. I don't just go, oh, I love all fantasy. I got to be very, it's got to be, you know, it can't just be, oh, we got fucking elves and dwarves. Like, okay, bro, you know? Like, I remember I got into that. Dragon Age, the first one, even that game, I was like, nah, no, okay. Dragon Age, the first one, the Origins. I was like, I don't know about all that. The only reason
I don't think there's any such game, Tony.
Yeah, Dragon's Age. There you go.
Oh, that game.
Yeah. So so that game came out. It was popping and stuff. It was big, and I was like, I'm not into this fantasy shit, man. And then after I played the first Mass Effect, I was like, this is fucking awesome. Is there another game like this? We're like, Dragon Age is like that. I was like, shit. Guess I have to. I loved it, right? And then when Game of Thrones got announced, they're like, oh, yeah, Dragon Age was inspired by this. I'm like, oh, shit, I better check this out, And then I started reading Brandon Sanderson stuff, and all his magic systems are all very scientific. I could get behind that. It's not just like, hey, shit happens, which was always my problem with fantasy. It's just like, oh, we got a problem. Bring the wizard. He can fix it. I'm like, what the fuck?
And you like the Dresden Files, which
Dresden Files was good.
Whoa! Hold on a second. Aren't you a Star Trek fan?
Star Trek is bordering on it because, like the first show, right? The original one, which I love the characters, but that was super fucking fantasy, right? The first 2 seasons of TNG were pretty fantasy-ish. Then it got more harder, but
that show, you can solve any problem by rerouting power from the engine bay.
Yeah, but they're at least trying to do it like a scientific way. I grant you, some of that shit is gobbledygook, but at least, hey, this is the in-world way of fixing it. It's not just wave a wand and everything's good. You know what I'm saying? But I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And then Q shows up. Yeah. Hello.
So, Brad, so basically, Brad, that's what I'm saying. The reasoning may be bullshit, but at least it's in-world. And yes, Q was fucking magic. That's magic.
I think good fantasy, and it's not just you. Good fantasy has rule systems that they stick with.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
These rule systems are both solutions to problems and the problems themselves.
And
Q is God.
No, he's not. But and Brett, that's what I realized. Those are the fantasy stories I tend to stick to. Like if you've read Dresden Files, like it could be kind of really fantastical magic, but there's always a cost to it every single time. I'm like, okay, I could get behind that, because it's kind of scientific, right? Like an energy exchange or whatever, And
for me, as long as you set rules and you fucking stick to them, you can bend them however far you want. Like, find all the loopholes you want. That's one thing I used to like about Naruto back in the day before it got... I mean, it was probably always bullshit, but I enjoyed the first few seasons because it always seemed like, okay, here's the in-world rule system that we've set up, and now here's how somebody totally takes advantage and exploits the fuck out of it. It seems like if you set a video game with rules, exploiters would find all these workarounds.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's what I like. I like rule-based magic systems, but I don't know how we got off it. I tell you, but yeah, Harry Potter. I'm glad people are enjoying the game. That's a good thing.
My kids call it "not your toe."
But yeah, Brett. Also to your point, yes, I missed that train. I was like 21 when that first movie came out. Like, it's like Pokemon. It's like, okay, I missed that fucking train. I was too old for that shit. Well,
dude, a lot of Harry Potter fans aren't they don't hate Lord of the Rings, but they're not. Like I've noticed that there's separate camps.
It makes sense though.
You're one or the other for the most part.
Yeah, no, and it makes sense. Lord of the Rings is fucking dope, but then like all that history behind it, like Silmarillion, I'm into shit like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's fantastic, man. But yeah, no, I think you're right about that. It is a little bit of a generational divide there. But I'm like, listen, I'm just happy these folks are playing a game that they love. Like you see on Twitter, man, like they are really enjoying this shit, which is great. This world's fucking messed up enough as it is, man. Get some joy out there,
Yeah, good on you guys.
Yeah. Shout out to Blitz who just showed up as we're about to wrap up here. But anyway, do we have anything to plug? Adam, I'm going straight to you, man.
No, we just have another episode of The Last of Us that we'll cover on Monday.
So that's a yes.
Well, it's not out now, but yeah, if you're into The Last of Us, you can check it out over at Coalition Gaming or over at thecoalition.com. So we'll cover in that.
All right, good stuff. How many more episodes?
3 episodes to finish game 1. Let's see how they do it. Every episode better be bangers. That's all. They got a lot.
Yeah. Did they already get to the cannibals?
Nope, no spoilers for the humans. No,
okay.
But, no, they didn't get it.
Okay, yeah, I guess
it's gonna be this one though. Yeah. No, I think this is gonna. It's from the trailer. it looks like she comes across them in this episode.
Yeah, because I already saw like Joel like in like a snowy place. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Well, they switched things up because when they made it to the camp to where they find Tommy, it's already snowing. So they sort of combined what happens in 2 and 1. So once they get to the camp in this one, they're doing the snowball fights, and you're seeing all of that.
No, because remember in the first game when they got to the cannibals, it was like a snow area.
It was snow. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's already snow.
Yeah.
So they're gonna come across them, eventually. But it's already, they changed the season. So at this point, it's already snowing. So once I saw the snow, I'm like, oh, it's gotta happen soon.
Yeah. I'm not going to name names, but I had a friend text me about like last week's episode. I'm like, you realize I'm not watching this show, right? she was just texting me I've been watching it this whole time. I'm like, I saw the first episode. I'm like, hey, this is a very well done show. I'm good. I played this already.
Don't need to see no more.
No, I'm good. I'll give them respect. I think it's very well done. But no, I'm good. Anyway, make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. You can also find us on every podcast app on the planet. Throwdown Show, that's towards Throwdown Show. You could also check us out on throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you've been watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Go play some Call of Duty third-person mosh pit. Support it.
Brett Murdoch.
So you're saying I'm funny? Saying I make you laugh?
And Brian Manjoma.
I hope that they do a Guardians of the Galaxy 2, just to show people how it's done.
Yeah, right? Oh, man. All right, people, we'll see you on Sunday later.
Laters.